it's exciting for me to just even sit here as Luyanda Matope, and next to me I have Budmonde Lex Futshane next to me, and next to him I have Zola Futshane. The Futshane family, they are from Port Elizabeth, and I am excited even for me to present the show today because I'm from Port Elizabeth. Instead of me talking about things, I'm like, let me have my people where I can ask questions that I would have loved to, people to know about where we come from, and for the jazz, especially the jazz in South Africa, because where I come from, there's so many greats who are from there. So I'm excited today to have one of the greats, and Oputwe Tomdala was Kokele, Utala is Kokele, Abang Stevena is Badala, but we're here today. But Alex, how are you?
I'm good, Joe. And how are you?
Me, I'm here on TV now, so I have to be dope. I'm dope. I'm representing.
Okay.
Zono von dir, sitting up.
No, grand, sharp na.
It's grand. Abas a new pride, and then long zakele, but in day one,
Yeah.
But Lex, we're talking masterclass. And I was thinking before even I come here today, like, what question should I ask you? And I thought, if we talk to you about what you do, so that you can tell us, so we can get this masterclass, because I think, Master, you have done everything. We just have to channel our questions so that you can ask us, because there's so many things that you can say. So today we're talking about your life as a teacher. But before that, just a background of you growing up in Port Elizabeth before you deciding to go and teach. How was that Monde, young boy in Port Elizabeth? Can you please talk about that in this master class? Just to know the master, where the master come from.
Well, Lex or Monde, as they say. I grew up at Dora in Brighton. And maybe let's start when this music thing started, Well, when I was growing up, there's always been music in my household. I mean, I remember at my mother's home, there used to be choir practices, the church choir practices. And what was interesting to me is that, they used to write their music in tonic solfa. But now, all these charts, they were like a big chart, and it written all the parts, all 4 parts. And it was always a brown paper. Written by hand, and they do this. So I grew up, if a person, they say they are Futshane and they can't sing, then you must know something is wrong. You must investigate.
So exactly, there's pressure for every Futshane. You must make sure.
It's not even pressure, it's there. It comes natural.
Okay.
We don't need to do anything about it. It's there. Okay? Yeah. But then growing up, fast forward to starting school, high school, I sang in choirs as well. I started singing, I remember I was singing soprano when I started.
Wow.
Yeah, boys choir. So
okay.
So
first tenors.
So I was singing soprano, and then the voice thing happened. Then I sang tenor. The last time I sang, I was singing baritone, not full-on bass, but baritone.
But I listen how you sing on your record. Your way of singing is they've got your special places, special parts.
My favorite part is always alto.
Okay.
Because it's not easy to sing alto.
Okay.
Alto. It's almost like ingathi iyayiloza most of the time. Njengibingena phakathi kwazo
ezaway.
But anyway, then I knew that I would like to do this music thing, But when we were growing up, musicians were seen as loafers. They were seen as drug addicts. They were seen as womanizers. Anything that is wrong within the society. Lazy was associated with music. So I couldn't tell my parents that I want to do music. Okay? And then fast forward again, past matric. I knew, it would be nice if I could do this thing. But then I had to do it via UNITRA. I went to University of Transkei. I did a BCom. First year. Second year, the best thing that could have happened in my life happened. We were expelled from school.
When you study BCom now?
Yeah. I'm on my second year BCom. We were expelled from school because we were, you know.
Oh, toy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Umatanzima decided that he doesn't want anything that breathes from PE. For me, that's the best thing that ever happened.
So, are you saying to me, Alex, when you're doing your second year,
Yes. That's why we were expelled, you know, because we were the biggest club warriors. That was us.
What is clap choir?
Don't throw us.
Oh, kaloku Alex, mamela kaloku inqombolo funeka ihove yabona. Mawubetha ngapho so explain kwenzele bayazi codes yabona, it's like a hip hop now. Because you must know ukuthi abanye abantu basebhayi, abanye abase. So umano umbetha njenge 4-2 yabona. Like 4-2 guys is our term we use with Bralex. This is 4-2. Back in the day, kwazakhelo okanye yo bright ixothe ngamagwinya amayi-2 funeka hambe nopaloni amagwinya ayi-4 ama nepaloni eziyi-2. So it's a 4-2. So we speak like that with Bulex.
Okay.
Bulex, it's beautiful and amazing and shocking because some of the story we always sit and talk, but you know, the more we get engaged and then you know, like I didn't know about this part.
Yeah.
But I want to go to this part of yours because of we're talking about this teaching.
Yeah.
And also listening to you finished your matric and then you went to UNITRA and do this and then you expelled. Talk about Kwazakhele.
Like I say, I was doing a BCom at UNITRA. So when we were expelled, I went back to PE. Then I went to our principal, Kilishanek, say I'm around. There's always a shortage of accounting teachers. There's always a shortage of mathematics teachers, science. So that's where I came in. I went in there, I was teaching accounting, I was teaching arithmetic. It wasn't mathematics then, arithmetic. And then I was teaching general science.
Sure.
So I taught there. And of course, whilst I was there, I had thought this music thing has, you know, but now I was in a better position. I was older, and my parents at this point, they could trust the decisions I was making. I mean, I'm a teacher for that matter. So went and negotiated with these guys. Like say, this is actually this that I want to do. My dad was not so happy because my dad was a trumpet player himself. So he knows the music is a jungle.
Sure.
So he didn't want me to go through that, although he didn't say it openly, but you know, you could say because it's checking, hey man, you started with this teaching, finish, go that way. I've got my own plans. But anyway, I went to apply to Forte first.
So Alex, before we even go to Fort, how long did you stay? Just as a school teacher at
3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years. And then in that time, I started with the music, like seriously, with the bass. And then my first bass I got from Pundabi Charles, wayesebenze Rio. You guys won't know him.
I know
he was a fine bassist in PE.
Pundabi?
Yeah, Ndabi Charles.
Ndabi Charles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we went to him with Zim. because at that time we were starting out, you know.
The one and only Zim Ngawan.
Yeah. Zim.
No, they grew up together, so we must mention these things.
Yeah. So we heard that they opened up on a base. So I said, okay, let's go to Bundabi. Went to Bundabi, told him my story that I want to play the bass, but I want the upright, and she was surprised first. Oh wow, that's beautiful, beautiful. Then he went and fetched the thing on top of the wardrobe. It had some gut strings, but there was no bridge, you know. So I looked at the thing. He said, look, I'm not going to sell this thing to you. And I'm not going to give it to you. Because if I give it to you, you're not going to attach value to it. So that you attach value to this thing, give me 70 rand. My first bass, I bought it for 70 rand. I didn't buy. I mean, Abu Dhabi just wanted me to attach value to it.
Sure.
And then I got my lessons from an American guy that was here, Larry Glover. He was a tuba player, you know. I nearly played tuba as well because I asked him, hey, this thing. He said, yeah, we can do both. I said, okay, so how much is this thing?
Yeah.
He told me the price of that. I said, no, the shop. Okay, don't worry. Let's stick to this. Because I knew I wouldn't be able to afford that.
Let's move, Lex. Let's move.
Yeah.
The bass, because because this bass is the one that made you again go back to the road. You're gonna pass UNITRA now.
Yes.
To study music. You went and came back, and then again you go up again, because the stretch from PE to UNITRA to Forte.
Yeah. Yeah.
So paint to me now, you're going back to music school.
Yeah.
The music school unikiwe freedom endlini mama uhamba mofunda umculo uhamba nobani, because some of your friends are outputulu Gonzana that you once told me your father and Pudlulu Gonzana were friends.
Yeah.
Who were playing the same band.
Yeah. And Lulu and myself were friends. We actually started school together with Lulu, sub A. We were in the same class with Lulu. Okay? But then, okay, my school starts in PE. My teachers were George Chefumane. He gave me my first theory class. When I knew writing there, those things, those fire hydrant, FH, outside for the fire. Yeah, we were sitting on that thing, you know. And Bax Gongo was a piano player, great pianist. He was from Cape Town, but ended up in PE. He's actually the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. You know? He gave me that. And then Pet and Patra. I mean, my first paying gig I did with band Capra Pet, modern jazz group. And we got paid. It was a lot of money. You know, I don't even want to make you jealous and tell you how much it was. But, you know, I started there. But going back, what really attracted me to bass, in 1970, there was a band called the Spirit Rejoice. 1977, there was a show that was called Sound Black 77. It was the Spirit Rejoice, Malombo, Philip Tabane, and some singer from Cape Town. What's this guy? Semi something, you know? Yeah. And it was at Rio Cinema.
Sure.
MC yakona Koki Kubul Totally Madre.
Wow.
Yeah, it was him. And then Spirit Rejoice, then it had Sipo Gumede, it had Gilbert Matthews, Marvin Africa, Paul Peterson, George Jeffumane on trumpet, Themba Meslomakulu on trombone, Thabo Mashishi on trumpet, Prajuk Makasi, and Robbie Johnson, of course, on saxophone and flute.
In Rio.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Rio, okay? And then the original Abos Kalekona, Upeki was playing with the Spirit Rejoice when they started. And they were rehearsing a Konika, Prajuk. Prajuk is from PE too.
Wow.
They were rehearsing Kokwabo, and when they were rehearsing there, into your Prajuk, it's like opposite Papu Vavai, opposite my aunt's house. So we used to go there. Becky was the piano player then.
Wow.
And Annelyn Malebo was singing. Man, those guys were doing some amazing thing. And they were using the instruments of the black slaves when they rehearsed. Yeah, obuturi. Baboleka ngobuturi instrument, and then they were using those instruments. And of course, those instruments would sound different when these guys had And then Becky was very naughty, and he had a thing with ladies. Now, where I'm going is I saw Usipho Gumede playing electric bass. They were wearing bell-bottoms, these guys. And Usipho Gumede would stand like this, as if nothing, no emotion, no expression, nothing. It just plays, and he was playing. I'm used to bass idlalwa nge-black drum or as a Grootman idlalwa ngobhunzi. No, Usipho is using this. And I looked at him, wow, I would like to do that. So Sipho pulled me to bass. Sipho Gumede. Yes. Wow. Yes. Sipho Gumede pulled me. I said, I want to do that. He made it look so easy, so simple.
Sure.
So easy.
So Lex, these are your teachers.
Yes. That's precisely what I'm saying. These are my teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now moving in, because when I was sitting with you preparing for this, we get to know what. So when you were a teacher, a lecturer now at Natal Tech, because you were in the UK, you were at the university.
Yeah.
You guys, when you were at university, you were hired to be teachers at Natal Tech.
Yeah. Actually, I was teaching Natal Tech, I was teaching at the university itself, and I was teaching at Durban Westville. I had 3 places I was teaching in. Yeah, I started teaching when I was still a student. Before I finished my degree, I was teaching.
Sure.
Oh, la klasi yako ya bantwana abancane. Na la klasi ya bantwana abancane.
Oh yeah. Before I went, once I was still at university, I was teaching at a school called Borden Road Primary School. Lower primary.
This is in Durban.
And in Durban, yes. It's a girls' school.
Sure, but
and I was the only male teacher in that school and the only black teacher. It was a white, white school. And so I was teaching these kids, man, some nursery rhymes and stuff. Then bafundisa umziwacha. And it was getting there.
But Lex, this part of, I want to understand, when you went to university, in terms of the jazz faculty, please can you talk us through from your age?
Sure.
Who are the guys who are around you that everyone who's watching from all over the world in South Africa can know? Good, okay, these are the people that I was around this time when we were doing studying and teaching.
Okay, well, the jazz program at Natal University started in 1983. 1983, that's when it started. And then it was there, it was happening, and you would remember that time the universities were set up such that they were white universities, they were so-called Bush universities, they were so-called Forte for the blacks and stuff like that. And then 87, the first group of musicians that went and took that place and put it on the map was Abo Zim, Abo Lulu, Opera Johnny Mekwa, OV, guys from the East Rand and Aziz Zasetlatleni. The first group, they went on the IAJE, International Association of Jazz Educators Conference. It was in Chicago. They went there. And that's how Jazzanian became. There was a band that was called Jazzanians, and that Jazzanians, it was that name was coined by a guy, Nick Payton. He's, I think, grandson or whatever of Alan Payton. So he coined that Azania Jazz, so Jazzanians.
87?
That's 87.
Sure.
Yes. And then we got onto the program 88. Myself, Feya, and...
So you left PE with Feya?
Yeah.
Going 88?
Yeah, but before, I was still telling you about Forte. Before we went to Natal University, I went to Forte and checked out this music thing. But I studied in Forte for maybe a week or 2 weeks. I was like, no. This is not what I want to do. This is not it. And also what helped as well, in that week or 2 weeks, there was a boycott as well. So, it went fine.
But now this one,
No. Nobody was expelled here.
Okay.
But Sazambela team.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
So,
because your history is taking us back, because as young kids, I'm gonna talk to Zola now.
Yeah.
Because before South Africa. So we have that information that it's sky and all of that. So it's good for me to sit here and talk with someone who went through all those dynamics.
Yeah, sure.
For us to be here. Yeah. So let's give you a break, Alex, and ask this one. So Zola, because in all what we have spoken about now, you are a kid who's growing up now at Dora, you know, and all of this. So what is happening to you as a kid? What are you thinking? Because what's happening?
Nothing much. As a kid, obviously, we are schooling, right? And luckily, the way schooling things for me were easy, right? Any school that you can think of. But music right? Because it's there. It's like he says, as family.
That's not choice.
Yeah.
It's a cousin.
But then from time to time, a chap, and then ifaga records ke ngoku. So Keith Jarrett, So Keith Jarrett and others, and some videos zabantu abathile. So as family, you kind of sit there and check this thing out, yabo. And naxa isezendlini uza no Brafeya, no Brazim, nantoni. And as chaps zonke zifika, the language is music, yabo.
Okay.
Naxa sometimes we go together, sizimele umninawa wami. So I'm the little kid, so looking corner and in and around this whole thing.
Because you're not going to focus much on you, but we're going to focus on you so that we can trigger some memories, good projects. That's why I'm like, I'm coming with this one, I'm going to put Zola there. Other stuff, you're going to tell them because we talk about this.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it's from a different perspective. You know?
Exactly. We normally speak about this because you were at Rhodes after all your schools from, because he's a good kid at school, you can tell. And then he went to Rhodes. But you always fascinate me about the stories that every time when students are going to Grahamstown, like there's a Grahamstown festival, now it's Makanda. You used to, Pralex will tell you, hey, my students are coming there and so. Just talk through us some of the students that you've met or you've seen perform and you were told by Pralex before you even meet them. Hey, my student so and so is playing there.
Look, some of them, I met them before they went to Grahamstown, right?
Okay.
Because I used to go to Durban now for holidays. So in between, we were still quite young. So I would meet most of the students that are there and some upcoming ones. Right? Now when we are older, then I met people who are now friends. So abo Sisa Sopazi, abo Tandile Mandela, abo Jeff Nomvete, abo Victor Mboto.
Sure. These are lectures and
teachers. Johan Mtetwa, Godfrey. What is the name?
Godfrey Celeste,
and a few others, because zonke then base students ka Lex, then I get to visit and then meet some people, because also xa uhamba no Lex usoloko ubuzwa wena udlala ntoni siba
because I needed a teacher. Everything.
That question throughout my life, say, okay, nice to meet you, man. What do you play?
Show us.
Hey,
Show us.
So yeah, and I got to know that about Black Coffee and all of these others as well. The Shana guys were also students as a Lex. And I mean, when I was a Monty, I got to meet others who are not necessarily direct students, Lex, but people who were in the vicinity and around music. Actually, they can play, but they were not in the school. They were in the school for something else.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Abo kukumbuku,
Ngabafundisi.
Yeah, ngabafundisi na.
Okay.
And they play. But they knew them, and then I met them, and when I introduced myself as Uzola Futshane, they say, Lex.
Yeah.
Okay, so udlala ntoni siba?
So it's Lex, in terms of reputation and heritage of teaching. You've been keeping it, because now there's a because of the TV.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you even on my side later years. When I meet you, you still hold the teaching umbrella, and you're one of the teachers that we have in this country that still goes on stage with us and sit there at the back and we play the music, with your band, with Yonela and Shibur. But I want to touch something that you mentioned.
Yeah.
You are inspired by the late Sipho Gumede.
Yes.
But you mentioned at one point when Sipho Gumede wanted to study music. Now you're becoming the teacher now, or a lecturer when it comes to music school. How was that experience?
It was great. Actually, it was a great experience because at that time we were neighbors with Sipho, and we used to call each other Makelwane. So we were neighbors, and then we used to visit each other, and then he told me, hey, you know what, Makelwane, I think there was a time he left Joburg and went back to Durban. Yeah, so we said, just want to check this thing. And I said, yes, go for it. Then he came, and then we sat down, just check where we're going to start. And then I said, listen, Makelwane, that's the end of the way. Sayenza yonke lento around your music.
Okay.
You've written beautiful music, beautiful everything. There's nothing that's missing in your music. Now, let's deal with that part. Let's deal with that thing. We don't need to take out anything, new or because anything that we will take out, you have dealt with in your music. So let's move this. But then we did about 3 months or so, and then gigs came back. He got busy. He left. Okay. And I told him, he knew, I told him that you're the reason I'm playing bass. And we laughed about it, Wow, we laughed about it because he was friends with a friend of mine, Musa Mavunta. Whenever they were in PE, they used to go to Musa's place.
Wow.
So, and Nati, we used to hang out kwa Musa. So we really, yeah.
Just for on the teaching planning in your head, because you just mentioned now you had to change. Because sometimes the school, there's a curriculum that you're going to do this and this, you follow this. But when you speak about the late Sipho Gumede, you say, okay, I'm going to approach this like this.
Yeah.
Do you find that as a teaching method is an interesting thing to do as teacher? Or do you think we need those innovations for teaching? Because when you go to a music school, Lex, you find that the talents are different. Others are playing, others are not playing, and you can't teach them the same way. So what is your take on the teaching, if based on just that story?
There are no two students that are the same. My bass students, when I teaching them the same thing but differently. The mere fact that we speak differently, we've got different voices, different inflections and stuff like that. It means we're different people and we grasp things differently. So there is no one size fits all to teaching as far as I'm concerned. And also, we also, like I say, grasp and we develop differently. So that's why before I even give you the first lesson, I would ask you to play for me. Just play anything. You don't need to play whatever. Just hold the instrument and play. That way I'm able to see where you at technically in terms of the instrument. And then we would talk about it too. What is it that you want to achieve? You know, what do you want to do? And my students, they will tell you, I teach you the fundamentals or the techniques or the geography of the bass.
Okay.
So that once you've got that facility, I give you all the facility about the bass, then you can take it anywhere you want to take it. If you want to be a jazz musician, you will be a jazz musician, a pop musician, classic, whatever. I don't concentrate on a genre. I just deal with the instrument. And then, of course, if you want to take it a step further and concentrate on, okay, look, I want to be a jazz musician. That's a total thing differently. So there's no one student that's like, okay, I've got this syllabus, this is how I'm doing this.
So Luyanda is for Luyanda, it's for Solange.
Yeah.
Sure, because Lex, it again, it attests to your name. You no more on the bush, you know, because because your name says it all, and we have seen it anyway. We have seen it in your life throughout us growing in the music industry. You're still here. We're chilling with us. You're always asking questions. You're always sharing with us because of that nature. In South Africa, Lex now, you know, as an elder in the music industry, and an elder with an honor to be and a life proven and an experience. What would you like to see going forward in South Africa and because we are in the world levels now.
Sure.
In terms of what we're doing, the world always looks at us, you know. What is your dream about us?
I would like us to deal more and pay attention and address the music. If we do that, the rest follows. I believe in that, you know. If you address music, there will be people who will see you as a guru, who will see you as a nice pianist, who will see you as a celebrity, who will see you as whatever. But if you're going to start by wanting to address and feed your ego and whatever, you're going to miss out on other things. But if you're addressing the music itself, just deal with the music, forget about anything else. Let's deal with the music, you know, and then everything else is going to fall into place, you know. And when I say deal with the music truthfully and honestly, you know. Truth always sets you free, you know. You can hear when the music is not honest or is not truthful. Yeah. You can somehow hear it. There's a difference between hearing that, okay, yeah, I can hear there is an inspiration of Keith or Ron Carter or whoever in this guy. It's an inspiration, you know. And then you can hear when there is a copy kind of thing, you know. Nothing is wrong with that because we all learn from our predecessors. We all learn from, you know, copying whatever. But at some point, you need to move away from that. Find who Luyanda is, you know, who Zola is, who Lex is, you know, that kind of thing.
I mean, also you can hear someone's personality in the instrument.
Yes,
sure. Right, after a while. So once you're around the music for a long time, you can hear the personality, especially when you also meet the guy.
before we close, I just want to ask. I was going to go across to Zola before we close with you.
Sure.
Zola, now we are at this age now. We're at this age with all the lessons from experience and the lessons from Lex, from academia and life living and father and umchita and what. How is his life has impacted you? Because you are here now, Zola, and you're still humble, because I watch you go with Lex in his show. You are always there in front representing, the set of the music, booking musicians, talking rehearsals and stuff. And that comes from structure. So how has that, in terms of you are 40 now, we're celebrating his 40 years now.
It's not something that tough, call it, because it's been there throughout life. Therefore, I know nothing else but. And also Lex has got structure in how he handles things and how he does stuff. For example, we all know he doesn't want people to be late. If we're going to do the music, he must have some sort of a rehearsal as well.
Yeah.
Right? But all of that, if you view it in a way, because I know artists sometimes, they don't like structure. They say, man, I'll listen to this thing, and sayibona, zaiva, sivule,
Yeah.
But that, to a certain extent, sometimes doesn't work. Because first you need to then follow structure, even in songs,
of
right?
The leader.
Yeah, you follow and say, okay, how do you want this thing? How do you feel it? Because ultimately we are here for you, right?
Yes.
And then after that, then you say, okay, I'm expressing it in this way. Is it okay? Then it's cool, right? And also, he doesn't stop people from interpreting the thing in the ways that it feels good to them.
Yeah.
But it must be within the context, which, even about life, this is all the same thing, right?
Okay.
So music and life kind of is same. You have to have structure. You have to study the thing. You have to practice. You have to check. You have to listen.
You have to keep growing.
You have to keep growing. Yeah, exactly.
Keep going and growing.
So now, at least I think I understood it quickly. And also, from the advice of, don't do music education formally first, when.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you will catch up with this thing. It's okay. And now is that time, actually.
I remember, I had a conversation with some ladies.
Yeah.
They were talking. They came with a young boy who's at NSA. So they said to me, they need me to mentor, and they tell me what he does and all of that. And the mother said to me, Luenda, do you think after grade 12 he must go to university and study music or what? My head, I started to do like this. I started to be like, yes, there are possibilities if he's gonna go for a specific thing. Because now he knows what he's doing, but now maybe he can go and say, okay, I'm gonna do arranging. I think now we can identify especially when the foundation has been there. But Alex, we want to thank you before we close this chat on the Masterclass for Jazzuary. Just talk through your albums, because the title of your album and the songs, when I'm listening to, I'm like, I still have to sit down with Lex, because one of your songs that you composed there was composed in 1987. Up and down on Gumaka's song.
Okay.
First, just a class on your thoughts and what was happening, so that somebody who's listening, who's a composer, can go back in terms of reflection and talk about this.
Well, it's interesting that you choose Up and Down and Gumakazi, because both these songs are inspired by the same person.
Oh!
You see, my aunt. Yeah, Gumakazi, my aunt. Let's start with Up and Down. Up and Down, at some point, I was staying with my aunt. My aunt never had kids and stuff. So we're staying together, and then...
In that staying together, the bass was there, and we used to come and visit. I was this small, the bass was this high.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, well, now that we spoke about that, our house is a matchbox, 3-roomed house, bedroom, dining room. So I was practicing in our room where we slept. So when I start practicing, Zola was still young. He comes into the room, listening to me practice. There's a bed there and whatever. By the time I look around, he's sleeping. So my mom used to call my bass Umtutuzeli Mama, because whenever this guy gets in that room and I'm practicing, he falls asleep. They must come and pick him up or cover him or something.
Wow.
Yeah. So now, Magas had just moved to this house, Epida. They were staying at Ferguson.
Okay.
And then I'm practicing, And I see Magazi, you can say a person wants to say something. And I'm, okay, I stop. Magazi, what is it? Said, no, man, Utatutua, her husband, wanted to go and fetch something at Ferguson. But then he realized that he forgot the keys to a Ferguson, her engine. There were no cell phones then and whatever, walkie phones there, But Nomagazi discovered that, hey, here are the keys. How is this guy going to go into their room, a Ferguson, a team? Oh, okay, so you want me to take the keys to him? Yeah, please. So I take the keys. Walking, Ferguson is just, When I got there, Daddy Joachim realized that he forgot the keys, and then he came to fetch the keys. So we missed each other, we missed it. And then when I came back, Magas told him that I'm there. Yeah. Instead of him waiting here, he went that way, and then we missed each other again. So the song, when I playing and then compose this song, okay, up and down. So this up and down, and that's why there's part of the lyrics that goes, we miss each other all the time. It was a big joke. In the end, it's there, it's in the song. Listen to those lyrics.
Thank you very much. This was great. I'm going to stop it there, Lex. We talk about two songs, but these songs are influenced by one woman.
Yes.
So, woman is structure, woman is a structure. Sabulela.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.